Hell yeah, brother. You're on the Cleetus McFarland YouTube channel.
What's going on, guys? Today we are back in the shop working on Toast, and we have a bunch of new things to show you because Toast leaves for Summer Nats, the freaking world's biggest burnout festival over in Canberra, Australia, the first week of 2020 in January. This thing leaves in 2 weeks. Not even, actually. It's a little under 2 weeks. We are kind of terrified, actually.
Pretty sure we're at the 10-day mark.
Yeah, we are really kind of scared. The engine's not even in the car, but we have a ton of new stuff that we have changed and made better while we had the engine out on Toast. We got our heads from Blueprint today. If you guys remember, we damaged some valves on the heads. They actually sent us a set of heads, and we're sending them our damaged ones. So shout out to Blueprint Engines. Super cool of them to do that, keeping us moving. But before we get into the engine stuff, let's go over a bunch of new things that we added to Toast while we had this time to kind of work on it. The thing is looking way better. I feel a lot more comfortable about him leaving for Australia because we want this thing to get over there and perform perfectly. We don't want to get over there and have issues. We want to do an amazing job, have fun, and most importantly, put on a show for you guys and the people in Australia. James, what the heck is going on back here?
More fuel.
More fuel. So, ladies and gents, what you see right here is a much larger fuel tank than originally was in Toast. And right now, I'm gonna tell you why. Originally, when we started the Toast project, I was like, you know what? We're gonna run this thing on E90. We're gonna put a giant radiator in the front. We won't have to worry about cooling because we're gonna go all out in cooling. Well, turns out it is a massive pain in the butt to put a giant radiator in a vehicle like Toast. So we were just like, oh, we'll put this little one in, see how it goes. How'd that go, James?
Not well.
Not well. Believe it or not, when a 632 with a 1071 blower on it idles, it can literally overheat with a stock size radiator. Now, we have a pretty decent radiator. We have some pretty decent fans on it, but it's just not enough for this thing. So what we're doing, and this is what all of the Australians do, is we're putting Toast on methanol. So that means no more Ignite E90 for old Toast. We're going straight over to 100% methanol, which we've never had a car that runs on methanol before. But the benefits of methanol are it runs incredibly cool. Literally, some of these guys have problems getting their cars hot enough to even race or do burnout. So we talked to a guy, he goes by Ste B. He has a really nice 5th gen Camaro burnout car over in Australia. He runs his on methanol. Everyone over there has basically said you guys are fools for not running methanol. So we're going back. We're not going to deal with overheating issues with everything on Toast. So we're just switching to methanol, and that is the reason for our larger fuel tank in the back here. If you guys didn't know, when you run methanol, you burn a ton of fuel. So we went ahead and put a 20-gallon tank in the back of Toast. That's a lot of fuel. We do not want to run out on the burnout pad. And I know you guys are also wondering, how can you have a fuel system in the back of the car? Well, there's really no other good places for the fuel cell in Toast. So we are building a firewall that will completely encompass this and keep the driver protected in hopefully any circumstance.
Comes off this floor up and back and seals to the window, so this way there's no, if something back here does catch on fire, it has to pass through a sheet of metal before it can get into the
And it's
cabin.
kind of common practice to do a firewall on like an NF body or something.
Anytime
like that.
you have a fuel cell, even if it's in a trunk car that has a rear seat, you're supposed to put a piece of metal blocking the trunk from the cockpit.
That's the plan for that, guys. Our methanol tank, but now we got to raise the car up and show you some goods we got from Motion Raceworks. Well, I guess we could show them the steering column too. Yeah, let's go do that. So another thing that was a problem on Toast is that the stock steering column was really bulky and it hit the header, and we pounded the header, we bent it in, but it still wasn't enough clearance. So Motion Raceworks, we call them up. They send us everything we need to put a steering column in Toast. And look at how sleek and nice this thing is. It's incredibly solid. It doesn't rub on anything because it takes up the smallest amount of room possible. And the parts are just so nice. And it came together so well. So check this out in here. Got our Motion Raceworks steering wheel. I mean, it is just flawless. So shout out to Motion Raceworks. Super good job from them, getting us every part we needed. We didn't have to order anything, go out and get hardware. Sent us everything we needed to put a steering column in Toast. I know, and now we're gonna have clearance to do stuff like spark plugs, more clearance for that. Now we'll go to our next thing, which is we removed the brake booster. We're onto a manual brake setup. So we have a new master in here that I got, and I'll put some links below to Summit for where we got this. We also got a Willwood brake kit for the front. We'll have no rear brakes on Toast because we don't need those where we're going. And I'll put the links below for those the brake setup too. We got our center console finished out, so the Power Glide shifter is chilling. We got our button for reverse. We got our on start button. We got the Holly screen in. So many little things that we needed to get done. So is that pretty much most of the things that we've upgraded in the last couple days?
Yeah, we did the fuel system, the pump for the methanol.
Oh yeah, we got the pump back there. Let's show them that. So guys, under here, along with our new freaking massive fuel tank, we have a new freaking massive fuel pump. We've got an Aeromotive 5.0 brushless pump that we got from Motion Raceworks. And they got all this stuff here in days, man, so quick. So super excited. Now I guess it is time to put the engine back together. Yep. Let's get some heads out, get things tested. We need to get on the dyno, make 1,000 horsepower, make sure everything's good to go, and then take this thing down to Bradenton and do a test burnout, put it in a container, and off toast goes to Summernats.
Test burnout and hopes nothing comes apart.
Yes,
because
this is
something
valid.
comes apart or something fails that we didn't, we look past. We got minimal days at that point.
Yeah, not a lot of time. Take your Dr. Spray them all. Cover. Oh, I lost it. Yes,
my lab coat.
Your lab coat was sacrificed. So guys, you'll see we have the engine all cleaned up. We got the decks all cleaned up. We have our head gaskets on there ready to rip. So all we got to do now is get the blueprint heads over here. These big old aluminum blueprint heads. They are looking nice and pretty. All we gotta do is wipe down the surfaces and make sure everything is super clean, and we are gonna drop them onto our 632, get that thing bolted together, get everything torqued down perfectly, and that's it. Drop it in. Yeah. Put the power glide back on. We'll be close to firing back up at that point. All we gotta do is just plug stuff in. All right, one head on. Missed the footage, but here we are. Them things are really light, huh?
Yeah, they're
big block heads.
Definitely a little bit heavier than the old LS head, that's for sure.
You almost got it. Get her in there, James. A little down. Oh, there you go. A little bit down, yep. A little
float technique.
Yeah. Let's bolt these things down. Should we torque them down or just throw like a bolt in each corner and call it good?
I was gonna give it the 7 Douglas.
Nah, guys, we're gonna use a torque wrench. We need this thing to hold some cylinder pressure. Should I show them that new? Should I do it to them?
Oh yeah.
Ready for this, folks? Johnson lifters.
Best in the biz.
Come on. Our boys hooked us up, so we got some fresh lifters too for that high RPM rev limiter action. We're also gonna be switching over to a cam sync and a crank trigger to hopefully solve our issue with that false rev limiter thing happening. Just while we have it apart, we're gonna go ahead and take the due diligence to switch to a new ignition system sensor. So we just wanna try and solve problems before they become a real issue when we're in Australia. Johnson Lifters also sent us these Manton push rods, and they are the freaking most serious push rods I think I've ever held. These are the same ones that are in the 240?
The same ones in the 240.
God dang, brother. It's so funny on a big block how you can change the lifters without pulling the heads. You can see them. You can see them slide right in there. It's kind of neat. Well, I'll be danged, brother. We got ourselves a valve train here. We got heads. Seems like the push rods were the correct length. Good job measuring those. Not bad. Just sealing up the valley right now.
Yep.
Yippity yip. All right. So guys, after this, we'll put the valve covers on, the intake manifold on, and drop it in. This here is our last step before we will be lifting this thing up and doing the oil pan gasket. Oh, you got it backwards.
Oh, no. None of that.
Oh, yeah. That gooped her good back here. Laid her down just right.
Just seeing if this gasket's gonna work. Yeah, it should.
I feel like I'm lowering bread into a toaster, and once we put that in, it technically becomes toast again. Yeah. That makes sense. Is that your story?
Yeah, it looks like it needs some of the stuff scraped off it, you know, like when you overcook your toast and you gotta scrape some stuff off.
Oh yeah, because it kind of tastes burnt.
Yeah.
Right now it's burnt.
Yeah, it looks burnt.
James is hitting the engine stand.
We're about to use our pole.
All right.
We're ready to go.
Gasket first?
Yeah, we gotta do the oil pan gasket. That'd be good. We don't want to get that. What's with all these freaking speed bumps, man?
Left them in the
Catch a zip tie. Hold up your whole night.
Whoa! James!
Just toss it into the headlight.
You said you were high though.
Oh my Lanta!
It was either gonna be the headlight or the hood
Look at
pin.
the dent you put, dude.
You can't vent.
It's right here. Look at that.
I think he hit right there too.
No, dude, it hit right here.
Hey,
James,
you said you were high enough.
what the hell, dude?
Man.
Respect. Oh! Will you chill out?
It's just big bug. Once it gets moving, it ain't stopping.
I mean, you were the one moving it.
It was moving itself. I was just holding on.
Oh. Just makes so
Totally
much
not-
power.
Totally not his fault.
Oh, it moves itself.
Right. Everybody ready to go down?
I'm scared.
Don't forget, you gotta manage your header.
You saw what?
Whoa.
Oh
Okay,
man.
You can hold the header and do that.
Hold on. It was like locked really tight. Now it's partially unlocked.
It's partially unlocked.
You know when it's locked real tight, you got to put all your beauty and strength into it.
Was it the beauty that did
Bring
it?
it a little bit towards you.
You had to put your mullet into it.
Dude, sometimes you just got to put your mullet into it. Like our business manager Alan.
No, is a proud owner of a mullet.
Yep, he's got a mullet. Everyone's got a mullet. Cooper, where's your mullet?
Cooper says he's never getting. Hold on, stop. Gotta go back.
See the way my hair is set up.
See,
You
Cooper's
see,
not about it. He just says he'll never have a
I
mullet.
can't really go back, James. That's the thing.
Nasty.
I mean,
Pump it up just a smidge.
My 4th gen Camaro is pretty mullet-like.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you kind of need one.
Yeah. Bronte, what do you think? Mullet?
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. You're good. Bronte, do you approve of a mullet?
Down.
I do.
Wow.
I'm down for it.
2 million likes and Cooper will grow a mullet. Cooper, what's a reasonable amount of likes for you to grow a mullet?
5 likes and Cooper grows a mullet.
No. 10 likes and Cooper grows a mullet.
10 likes.
Yeah, I
It's not that many, I'll be honest.
That's a lot.
dude, that's not. Cooper, be humble, dude. You think you can just pull off 10 likes like that?
Down.
The trick is you just drop it and it finds its home.
Push the balancer down.
It's not.
There you go. Alright. Are you ready, sir? Going one hand, so just be careful. Going two. I'm sitting on top of my motor mount.
That's what's going on over here. So they were trying to line up the motor mount. Oh, it's pinned to that bolt against the... Oh, there you go.
It's awesome.
There we go.
Exhaust.
Ready?
Which is pretty much in there.
You ears in, dude? Come on, James.
Get that red blood.
Ready? Watch out, dude. This can get dangerous.
Wow.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh!
You had that coming. Alright, now that the threads are cooked,
Yep, now that we've thrown threads on already, come on, bolt.
off the wall and into his hand.
Probably just one-handed. I don't really need your help, dude.
Well, now that one's in, it makes it a lot easier.
No, it's still just as difficult. I'm just more skilled. Oh, dang it, it stopped.
Well, it's probably resting the whole car on the engine stand.
Probably his exhaust. It's pinched.
It is. Sorry, I gotta operate the boom.
The boom.
All right, so for the sake of knowing how much Toast Supercharger weighs, we're gonna throw it on here. We're at 7 pounds with the pad on it.
Any guesses?
I'm gonna go with like 78 pounds. What do you think, James?
69.75.
James going with 69.
Probably like 82.
Oh my Jesus.
Oh my gosh!
Went to 134.
What did I say? Was that 7?
Yeah.
So 127?
Wow.
127 pounds? Good lord, look at that thing.
Hat, injectors, fuel rails,
A little bit of freedom.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I really feel like
Yeah, we're pretty.
127
Well, we're
pounds.
each lifting 60 something.
Probably I was picking up 4 pounds.
You have dad strength now.
Yeah.
You have no judgment of how much something weighs anymore. Like Cooper, how many stone is that?
About
About
5?
9? About 9, right? Isn't stone 14?
Yeah,
About 9 stone.
9 stone.
Yeah, 9 stone.
9 stone.
All right, so this thing weighs 9 stone, folks.
You guys committed.
We almost have a method to this.
It's almost like you guys know what you're doing. You doing a split over the whole nose of the car?
That's what you gotta do.
It's a three-step process.
They need to make lift
1,
points on
2.
these things.
Oh, gasket moves. They have this thing that literally sets over, and it's 2 handles out here on each side to pick these things up.
Oh, really? All right. We're not close enough on the gasket, but that'll work for now. All
Almost
right.
a car again.
Looks good.
Whew. Looks so much better. It needs just like so much freedom out the hood. Well, no hood yet, but we are gonna get the hood done before it leaves for Australia. So what now? We gotta bolt the blower down, put the alternator back on, hook up the water lines, put the radiator back in. Obviously you gotta put the transmission on, drive shaft, plug everything back in, that's it, right? Fill the transmission up with fluid.
Oils, waters,
Oh, oil would be good.
all your fluids.
Water would be good.
New fuel system stuff.
Yeah, fuel, gas pedal,
The gas pedal back up.
brake fluid, bleed the brakes.
Yep, brake fluid, bleed the brakes, build the firewall for the gas tank, and then go test it.
Oh, you gotta hook up your
Put it
shift
back on
light
the-
too. Your monster shift light.
Yep, yeah, hook the shift light up. We are gonna put it back on the dyno, make sure the tune's 100%, and then make a methanol tune. So we have a E85 tune and a methanol tune. And Kevin should be helping out with that next week. Then we got to go to Bradenton, try and just see if it'll do a burnout, see if any parts fail. That's going to be really our only opportunity to test. And then the car leaves the following Monday. So fingers crossed, guys, that everything goes smoothly. We can hit FL2K with no worries about toast, have him shined up, waiting at the shop to go in a container for 2 months. That's it though. All right, so next video, guys, Toast 2.0 will be firing up. Shout out to Blueprint Engines for getting these heads out so quickly. We're super excited to have Toast almost back in action. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Do it for Dale. We'll freaking see you later. Also, don't forget to get your Toast shirts available, pleasemcfarland.com.